Now that you already studied the first conditional, it's time to study the second one. Second conditional, and also we are going to see the use of for and since. What is the difference between them and how to use them. Let's begin with the second conditional. If you remember, we studied the first conditional. We talked about facts, truths, and things that were related to present or future, right? Everything could be proved or had a common result that was related to the first part of the conditional. In this one, even though it is related to present or future as well, we are talking about hypothetical situations, things that are not true, right? We use it to talk about something untrue in the present or future. It is normally used to talk about hypotheses, so we can say imaginary things that we have in present or future. The if clause contains the unreal situation. It is going to introduce it. And of course, the second part that is normally the result is going to be related to that untrue situation that is exposed in the if clause. So in the time clause at the beginning, we have if plus simple past. If you remember in the previous one, it was simple present. So we can say that it is written in simple past even though the meaning is for present. In the main clause, we can have would, that is normally the past tense of will, or we can have could if we are talking about abilities or possibilities, plus the base form of the verb. If he had a dog, he would go running every day. But what is the reality? He doesn't have a dog. So possibly he never goes running because he doesn't have it. But if he had it, oh, okay, he could do it. If I were you, I would send that email now. Maybe it's a kind of advice or I don't know, something that I am proposing to another person. If I were you, but I am not you, so you have to the final decision. Important, look, in conditionals, we always use were with I and with the rest of the subjects. It is an exception only for conditional forms. Normally we say I was, but in conditionals we say I were. So if I were you, I would send that email now. She could have a tan if it wasn't cloudy. The if clause here is at the second part, but it has the same idea. We can invert it to understand it. If it wasn't cloudy, she could have a tan. But the reason is, the real thing is that it's really cloudy, it is raining, so she couldn't have a tan, right? It's impossible for her to get some sun. So this is the second conditional. Use this chart as reference to complete the exercises and also to put it into practice in the conversations. Remember, when you are talking about something you would like to happen, but it is not true, this is the moment in which we use the second conditional. Now let's talk about for and since, and let's see how to use them. They are really useful words to complement many tenses. To see how to apply for and since in context, let's see one example. I will use my timeline. It is going to start in 2003 and it is going to come until this year, 2020. I will tell you that those are the years, the period of time in which I have been teaching. I started in 2003, so I can say that since 2003 I have been teaching, right? Or also I can say that from 2003 until 2020 are 12 years. So I can say that I have been teaching for 12 years. It depends on how I want to mention it. I will use the point of departure, since, or the period of time, for. So we can say that since is used from a stated point in the past, from the point of departure. Examples, since 2003 or since I was a child. We can use a year, we can use a specific event in the past. When we use for, we are talking about a period of time. So you can say like me, for 12 years, or you can say for a long time. In this case, it's a period of time as well. We can see some other examples in this chart. And you can see also that it can be used with present perfect or sometimes with other tenses. I have been living in Japan since 2012. Or I have been living in Japan for 4 years. This example is similar to the one I gave you about myself. So for is related to a period of time and is followed by a number and a time word. So for 10 minutes, for 8 hours, for 5 days. Normally this is the way in which we use it. And when we measure the duration of something or how long it lasts, we have to use it. In the case of since, that is on the other side, it has a starting point and it has a time or a date. So it's since plus a time or a date. For example, since 8 o'clock, since Monday, since 1982. So you have more examples here to compare. You have the usage, and now it's your turn to put it into practice, especially in conversations, right? Because those words are really useful and it is necessary to remember how to use it. Important, remember the pronunciation, since. Since. This is the way in which we pronounce it because it can be confused with other words that we have in English.